Welcome to a special edition of The Laws of Life. I'm your host, Blanca Greenstein. Today's edition, we're going to be speaking with my friend, Lisa Cucchi. And Lisa is one of my friends that has taught me about how important it is to be aware of mental health issues and speaks a lot about suicide prevention issues. As you all know, this week was a very difficult week. We lost two really incredibly respected celebrities, Kate Spade and the famous chef
Anthony Bourdain.
And as soon as I learned of the suicide of Kate Spade, I immediately thought of you. Mm-hmm. And I actually texted Lisa and I said, how are you feeling? What unfortunately, a lot of you are going to get to know about Lisa Cucchi's case. Her case is currently being handled by the Law Office of Major Peruis. Just to tell you a little bit about Lisa's case, and obviously you'll learn more through other productions of The Laws of Life, but unfortunately Lisa's husband took his life in 2015 when he was prematurely released after being Baker acted. So after your husband unfortunately committed suicide, you have brought a lot of awareness to mental health issues, attending fairs, going to dinners, speaking publicly about it. And, when all of these suicides happened this week, I really wanted you to come in and I wanted to hear about what's going through your mind right now as a surviving family member of suicide.
Well, in a way, it's good that it's celebrities in the sense that if it happened to just somebody we don't know, people don't really pay much attention. But when it's a celebrity, it gets put into the limelight and it's bringing a lot of awareness. And when I watched the news last night, after they talked about Kate Spade, they put up the hotlines for suicide prevention and awareness and crisis hotlines, things like that. So it's making more awareness out in the public community. Back in the past, suicide has had a stigma. People who lost someone to suicide weren't willing to talk about it. People who suffer from mental health issues, PTSD, anxiety, panic attacks, bipolar, what have you, they are embarrassed and ashamed to talk about it because of the stigma. I was at the grocery store the other day and I saw Mariah Carey on the cover talking about her bipolar. And she's been in the public eye for a long time, but it's not until now she's opening up about it. Not sure why. I didn't read the article.
Okay.
But
it's important to talk
good
about
that she's making awareness of this issue as well. My husband was in law enforcement for 29 years, and being in law enforcement, he worked a lot of violent crimes. Mm-hmm. And over his 29-year career, he saw many ugly, hideous things that we hope to never see. And unfortunately, those images don't just leave your mind.
Correct.
And
so
he struggled with it for a long time in silence. And
you think his career caused him to have the depression?
Yes.
And that led just handling all those violent crimes.
Right.
So I understand you just told me just today you're working with the Miramar Police Department.
I am.
To raise awareness.
Right.
So tell us about this initiative.
So I was contacted by Sergeant Chris Saunders, and he works with the Miramar Police Department, and they're doing a 12-week in-service training program, and part of it has to do with suicide prevention with law enforcement and mental health issues involving law enforcement.
Excellent.
And today, and for 11 more Fridays, I'll be there talking about my story, hoping to open the communication. One of the things that AFSP says is talk saves lives. So we want to talk about it, open the doors for them to talk to each other, because chances are if one of them says something, someone else is going to say, I felt that too, or I've experienced that too, and then they know they're not alone.
Do you think that's a huge part of suicide prevention, is having someone in your life to talk to?
Yes, and I had mentioned to Chris today that I think it would be awesome if all police departments had something like a peer support group, where they're in their own group, everything that happens and says in that room stays there. They don't share it with others, so they feel safe.
That's
And
wonderful.
having their peers who are experiencing similar things might make it easier for them to handle it. One of the things with law enforcement, they are seen as superheroes. They're supposed to be stronger than you or me or the average person. We expect them to be able to handle anything and be strong through anything. And one of the things I told them today is reaching out for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. And I'm pretty sure that my husband saw it as a sign of weakness, and he didn't want to reach out to get that help.
It's so true. We have to open the doors of communication and not be embarrassed about mental health issues, and talk to our friends, or go to a peer counseling group, or call the suicide prevention hotline. You can keep supporting your friends, keep talking about this topic. You can talk to Lisa about this topic. You can message her through her Facebook page.
Sure.
And just keep the awareness going. And frankly, I think one of my laws of life is just be there for other people and check in on them and ask them how they're doing. And if, when you see a sign, try to act on the sign. Don't ignore the signs. I think that's one of the biggest laws of life that have come out through a lot of the interviews that we've done.
Right.
If you could go back in time, what would you have done differently?
I would have insisted that my husband stayed in the hospital so that he could get the treatment I took him there to get. I wish I had known more about mental health issues. I wish I had known that it was a pretty big problem among law enforcement. I didn't know any of that until, unfortunately, it was too late. One of my husband's friends, who he knows through the police department, we started a charity group. It's called Coral Springs Police Department CARE Team, and CARE stands for Citizens Assisting Responders Everywhere.
Excellent.
And we did a big fundraiser at the Mai Kai in April.
Great.
And it was a lot of fun. We brought some awareness, and what we are doing today is we're going back to the Mai Kai, and they're presenting us with the big check.
That's
for our
wonderful.
fundraiser.
So take some pictures and let's
I
put it
will.
on the Laws of Life page.
Sure. It
And
was
share
a
this
great
with
way
us.
to bring awareness, and with the money we're going to spruce up the memorial trees in front of Coral Springs Police Department, and
Excellent.
we're also going to be doing different events to recognize and appreciate and support law enforcement.
And any of you out there watching, if you want to support the CARE organization that Lisa just spoke about, or just open the dialogue, call us or talk to us anytime. I hope you learned something today. I know I did. Thank you for watching, and have a great day. Be well. I hope you learned something today. I know I did. Thank you for watching The Laws of Life with Blanca Greenstein, and stay in touch and stay connected. Be well.